out of their own pocket if they want to. That's how much money they've made off of us. Our spending dollar is incredible. That's why I cannot wait for the July 7th, like, or whatever, of, no spending day. I have been trying to buy black for a long, long time, but our hands are tied in certain situations because communities don't have black grocery stores, and they're trying to gentrify and shut down all the mom and pop stores and turn them into fucking Starbucks and
Mhm.
coffee beans and shit. So, I don't know the proper way to riot, but I know that if we have peacefully done these little protests since and never rioted, no, still wouldn't nobody be listening to us. And that I do know.
Great point.
Absolutely. I don't know if you've seen Billy Porter and his comments that he made. Are you familiar with what he said in regard?
I did see Billy Porter's post, and it went in one.
Okay, because we don't talk about him much on the platform, but we have brought him up on a couple of occasions in regards to the argument of what we feel the demasculation of the black male in particular in Hollywood and things like that. And by no means are we homophobic or trying to condemn anybody who wants to.
And we're not trying to minimize, trans lives matter too, gay lives matter too.
Right.
I'm black though, I'm not trans and I'm not gay. So
Right.
I have to fight for, just like he has to fight for his cause, I have to fight for mine. But I'm definitely not minimizing anything to do with black anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
But him and Candace and Terry Crews, they all need to sit down, be quiet for a minute, and let us do the talking. The people who know what we're talking about.
Why do they feel like they have to be so outspoken right now and not see the causes? Because you hear a lot of conspiracy theories. There's somebody telling them to do this shit. They got this in their back. We hear all this shit in Hollywood about what goes on. And you would think common sense will tell you, wait, what are you doing this for? This is what they run with. These are the headlines they put out. And it just puts us against each other and makes us look crazy. So why do they do it?
Well, first of all, it's like, why is everybody on Instagram Live right now?
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're at home.
Word.
And we have the opportunity. If we were back at work, we might have time to sit around and be on their lives and Instagrams and didn't even have pay attention to anything that was going on when we were at work. But they're at home and people ask and then they respond, or people don't ask and they just feel the need to say something. Terry Crews, is not, there's certain, Terry's black, he's married to a black woman, he's got, whatever. And he's done a lot of black projects. Some of them were, a little buffoonish, but he's become very endeared by the white bureaucracy. You understand? And so he's not going to cut that check off because he lives in a lifestyle right now where he cannot afford to. You want to know why I live in the hood? Because I can fucking afford to. And that is why I've been able to sit here for 3 months and support 2 households, mine and my daughter's, which I would not be able to do that if I were across the 10 freeway, which is here in Los Angeles. Okay. I don't mind being here because I, can play my music. I can be in the backyard. We can slam dominoes and nobody's going to call the police. Why do I want to live where somebody does not want me there? Why do I want to pay $1 million for a condo that I can't even sit on the patio, talk shit to my homies and smoke a joint and not bother nobody without the police being called to me? I would love to live by the water. I would love to live in a different type of place, but I want to live. And as much as violence as can be gone on in the hood, I know how to handle my people. And I think that they have a respect for me that some of my white neighbors may not. Candace Owens is married to a white Republican man. Now, how do you sleep with the enemy like that? What do you talk about at the dinner table? What do you talk about at Christmas time or Halloween? Or does she smile when her friends get dressed up in blackface for Halloween? I don't understand that type of person. I've dated white boys before, but, it was a date. It was dinner. It was this or that. And I don't have no problem with it, but I know in my soul I would never marry a white boy. They don't like to use washcloths. They rub they rub the soap on their body. That's why their hair be on the soap.
Man, right.
Oh my God.
Now you spoke about the assassination of some of our prominent black, whether it be rappers, leaders, but you also got the assassination or demasculation of the character of the black men. How do you feel about black actors putting on a role or wearing a dress and acting out in the society that we're in. What's your thoughts on that?
You know, if there was a channel that was OFTU, only funny to us, then I might not mind it so much. If we looked at Martin or looked at whoever and dressed up like that, I might not mind it. I mean, you know, they've been doing that since the vaudeville days. But it's the image that you're putting out there. You know, why is it so funny to see a black man in a dress? Why is it such the requirement? You know, you have to look at the people who have gotten to the places where they are, and a lot of them have went down that road, you know, and you have to look at people like Dave Chappelle, who not only did he say, I'm not wearing the dress, I'm not fucking with you no more neither. I've got my bag. How much money does a motherfucker really, 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 really need? If you're already comfortable and you've made good investments, then you have the power. The money is the power. You have the power to say bye. It's very powerful to be able to work and do what you want to do and not have to do what you have to do, you know? And so I cannot say I have not laughed at the shit. You know, I cannot say that I want to laugh at it anymore, though.
Speaking on that, we had Donnell Rollins on a couple weeks ago, and the shit was funny as hell. Pleasure to have him on. It was a great brother.
Ashley Larry.
Ashley Larry. Man. That shit was great. We asked him that question, and he went off on us a little bit. He was kind of, I don't want to say he took a defensive route toward it, but he was very adamant about it being just strictly about acting. And what the fuck are we supposed to do? It's acting. And you wouldn't say this to a Ving Rhames face, or you wouldn't say it to this person's face. And there is no de-emasculation. It was just, it's acting. And we've heard that a lot from a lot of prominent black actors. We had Miguel Nunez on, shout out to him. We had on Leon from the Five Heartbeats. Jackie Long. Yeah. We asked a lot of great brothers from Hollywood this question. A lot of them lean toward the acting side of it. What do you think about that?
Okay, well, do you think Denzel would ever wear a dress?
Absolutely not.
Talk about it.
Okay, do you think Sidney Poitier would ever have worn a dress?
Absolutely not.
Do you think that you know, any of the people that we know wouldn't do it would do it? You know, I mean, you can have a prominent career and never fucking wear a dress. You can do it. It's been done.
Yeah.
You know? You haven't put there's a lot of people, you know, names escape me right now. I ate that edible, you know, before my last show. But there's a, you know, you can have a career and not put on a dress. Hell, I've never dressed up like a dyke bitch, you know what I'm saying? And that's acting. And I probably, you know, it's not even that I wouldn't dress up like a dyke, because I probably would on Black Lady Sketch Show, no big deal. But what I fired an agent because he kept trying to send me out for mammy roles and overweight kitchen lady and all this type of stuff. I said, I have a 24-year-old, at this time she was like 19. I said, I have, no matter how old you think I am or how round you think I am, I have a 19-year-old daughter and I fuck young men. I'm not motherfucking getting dressed up like somebody's grandma. I'm many, many years from being a grandma, and I don't do maid work. I don't even clean my own house. Raina does that. So get the fuck out of here with that. And, you know, and I fired him. And since then, I got better roles because I had a better agency that understood me. You know what I'm saying? You have the choice to do this shit or not do it, you know? But, okay, my boy, Brandon T. Jackson said it ruined his whole career, you know, because he wanted to work with Martin. And I get that. You want to work with Martin. Okay, well, you know, had he not worked with Martin, does he think his career would be over? Did he have that little confidence in himself that he said, damn, I want to work with Martin, but I'm not wearing this dress? You know what I'm saying? Do you think that he would have got respect for that, or they would have blackballed him for that? Because he ain't worked no goddamn way after the dress.
Guys like Tyler Perry, what do you say to those guys who put on the dress, you know what I mean, did the whole Big Mama, whatever her name was, and now flipped his empire and, you know, started hiring black people, got a big studio down there in Georgia. Do we had conversations about that here?
Yeah.
Do we excuse that now since he's doing a good thing now? Do we still say, all right, man, nah, but you know, the damage that you done to the black youth was irreparable? So do we condemn
Well,
them?
you know, I worked on that studio when I filmed Coming to America. It'll be out in December, and it is so um, you're filled with so much pride when you're on the lot there. You know,
Right.
he made that money from these church women going to see Medea.
Yeah.
Did you want to see a big, husky, good-looking black man dressed in a dress? No. Did we love the character of Medea? Yeah. I mean, it's a double-edged sword, you know, because then after that, he got the coins to be able to, you know, get with OWN. Then he left OWN and got his own again, play on words. And then he started cranking out movies, started cranking out television shows. And now, you know, the studios that wouldn't fuck with him before, Paramount, Warner Brothers, Sony, and all of that, if they go to Atlanta, they're probably going to have to rent studio space from him since he has the largest studio in Atlanta on a Confederate Army base. You know, if there's an ends to a means, I think it's kind of hypocritical of me to say, but I've never said that I'm not a hypocrite. I'm a fucking flawed person, you know. I have to forgive him for that. If he kept doing it, if he was still doing it, it'd be like, okay, enough. But he did that. He took that money and he was able to build an empire for generations in his family and other people. These other guys were told to do it. Those weren't their projects. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
They were like, we're going to cast you. We want you to put on a dress. And they're like, oh, man, I don't want to. You know, you got to look your... And if it's really, really funny, I mean, you know, Martin's not going to get the ridicule that Brandon T. Jackson's kids might give him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then you got to do it, and then you got to get out. I don't know. I know that my husband would never in a million years put on nobody's nail polish, nobody's dress, no nothing like that. And none of the men that I circulate with. I have 4 brothers. I have 17 nieces and nephews. And except for the obviously gay ones in my family, none of them boys would never do that. We'd be like, hell no, fuck no. I'll fucking pick fruit before I do that shit.